Hey everybody, you're tuned in to 91.8 The Fan, and this is Kana's Corner. And sitting with me today is a very special guest who's trapped in a strange world right now.
Always strange in this world.
Welcome to the show, Joe. How you doing?
Good, not so silent today.
And I think you've sucked into a wormhole or something along those lines.
Oh yes, I live on 1743 Wormhole Lane. Welcome to my part of the universe.
Now, I'm curious. You've actually been in the industry working on music and ADR work for quite a while. How did you originally get started?
I saw the Beatles
No.
on Ed Sullivan. I heard Jimi Hendrix. I dig the sounds of Jimi Hendrix and the strange avant-garde music scene going on mid-70s, late 70s. And then I got into various bands, played with Mark Tanner in the early days, and then got into sound engineering. And through sound engineering is how I kind of landed in this little nest of producers and artists and creative types moving into the anime world, which is really fascinating to me because I've always seen, I've grown up on Disney. My mom worked at Disney for years. She started in the Lady and the Tramp days. And I grew up on Western animation, and I saw this Japanese anime, and I go, wow, this is cool. So I started recording the various actors for some of the early Japanese anime. And eventually led to a few music projects, the first one being Dragon Ball Z. I did a little 1 minute piece of music, 2 minutes maybe. And then eventually stumbled into the Silent Hill world.
So,
It's got me a lot of attention.
oh yeah, definitely. It's a great series, but when you started, you didn't know what anime was. It was new to you, correct?
Yeah, but it was wonderful. I mean, the animation was just so unique, and the topics were just so much more intelligent than what was going on here in the States.
Oh yeah, I have to agree.
Really challenging thoughts and concepts, which are now just kind of being scratched. The surface is just being scratched in Western media. Like, for example, House. I love House, the TV show.
Oh yeah, the one about the doctor who's really mean.
When I first saw that, I go, wow, it's Blackjack. Anybody who knows anime knows Blackjack, an old anime series. But just a weird, twisted doctor and just all the interesting diseases he can come up against and try and cure.
It seems like it's definitely full circle at this point, that ideas are sort of being adapted from anime. There's so many anime movie remakes now.
Oh yeah, it's endless. There was a series I worked on called El Hazard, which was really cool. And I'm just waiting for somebody to come up and do a live action version of that show. That would be so cool. Or, Macross Plus or any of it.
I know I know they did a live action of the Dragon Ball movie. Did you see that?
No, I didn't.
I know they did that. That's actually on DVD, so that was sort of interesting.
That's cool.
And I think they're coming out with a few other ones. I mean, you're very lucky because you got to see the Silent Hill adaptation, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, what, the movie?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was great. We were there. Mary Elizabeth and I were there on the big showing. We went down the red carpet with Akira. It was great.
That must have been really interesting. Did you ever expect a video game series, back when you started, would turn into a movie?
No, I mean Akira is really the mastermind behind the whole thing. His vision and style is just so unique. It reminds me of a director I worked with years ago, Tersane Singha. Are you familiar with Tersane?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, he one of his first videos was of a band I was in years ago called Soy Cowboy, which was my first encounter with like an East-West fusion thing. And Tersain just did this insane video, and it just had such a look, it just took my breath away. And then when I saw some of Akira's images and heard his music, I just go, oh, this is great. But when it was first introduced to me, it was basically just introduced as another job. I had no idea what was coming in. Like I say, I'm not an actor. I just play one on TV.
At,
I was an engineer that just happened to be at the right place at the right time.
at the same time, though, that must be very interesting to sort of work on, I guess you could say, the big granddaddy of survival horror games.
What do you mean?
Be able to work on the soundtrack for Silent Hill.
Yeah, my part for Silent Hill is pretty much through lyric. Um, like I said, Akira is just the mastermind behind Silent Hill. I just come up with the lyrics. I get a script ahead of time, and then I read through the script and I try to put myself in that place, and lyrics start coming.
Do they show you any imagery or anything relating to the game so you can get a better idea, or do they just explain the premises?
Not really, because the true horror is in the mind and in the characters and in ourselves. And that's what I try to do with the lyrics. I try to enhance that feeling.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, they're very haunting. I was actually just listening to Room of Angel to get it all into the Silent Hill mood.
Yeah, it's funny. When I'm at the place of writing the songs, they really don't have titles. They have a number. It's like room 3 or, Laura's thing. That's it. And then later on, Akira will give it a name or somebody will give it a name. I'll finally get a copy and go, wow, listen to that. Because when I get it, it's just basically a temp music track and a guide melody. And then I write the lyrics.
Now,
We send Mary, we record with Mary and then send that to Japan, and we don't even hear it for about 6 months afterwards, usually.
is it hard waiting for the finished project to come back?
Oh, are you kidding? We love it. Every time we do a new recording, the document, we send it off and we go, what's it going to sound like when it comes back? The latest game, Shattered Memories, when we did Always on My Mind track, that really blew my mind when I first heard that because it sounded like a totally original track. I thought it was one of the new original songs that I was supposed to write. I go, are you sure this is the right track? And then I listened again. I go, oh yeah, I hear it.
That's very neat. And do you ever get to experience the games afterwards?
Um, I don't play games too much, unfortunately. Uh,
That's understandable.
yeah, but this last game, the Shattered Memories, I did get a chance to go down to E3 and try the games out there, and it was wild. I got to sample it and then do some writing, which was good. It was the first time I had ever had.
I mean, the series is so scary and so creepy, so that must be really
Telling me to
interesting to
write it.
seek inspiration from that.
Ice, snow. I
Um,
forgot right about snow, ice.
oh, I'm sorry, you were cutting off a little bit there. That's a little bit of lag on our side from Skype. Are you still with us? Oh, it seems we might have gotten the call dropped. We will be right back, though, so make sure to stay tuned to 91.8 The Fan. Everything you want, nothing you...
Bob's, Bob, Bob's. Bob's, Bob, Bob. Bob's, Bob, Bob. Bob's, Bob, Bob's.
Ah! What is this crap? Are you tired of hearing the same thing over and over? Don't worry, we are too. That's why we made 91.8 The Fan, so stay tuned.
Hey everybody, you're tuned in to 91.8 The Fan, and this is Kana's Corner. Sorry about the little disconnection there. We had a little bit of problems. I apologize, but we're back.
The government caught up to me finally. I had to talk to them. Fine, now I'm back.
He got sucked back into Silent Hill, I think. Something attacked you, probably.
Something strange always happens around here.
You're just kind of lost in the world, eh?
Yeah, so what were we talking about before we were so rudely?
I was asking you a little bit about your inspiration for the lyrics and whatnot.
For what?
For the lyrics in Silent Hill? Do you have any inspiration?
That show. I love that show. I don't know. My inspiration, I don't know if we got cut off earlier. They give me a script, and I just kind of read through the script, get to know the characters, where they're at, their surroundings, what they go through. And then I sit down with the music that Akira supplies me and come up with the lyrics. I don't know where they come from. They just come from that place all lyrics come from, I guess.
Well, no, that's really interesting. It certainly shows that you're very creative.
Yeah, it's, I write lyrics down. I have to, or I'll forget them. They'll just disappear, and sometimes I even write them down and I forget them. But
we don't want that to happen.
There's nothing like a good deadline to help write a song. It's like, Joe, we need 4 songs in a week. Can you do it? Sure. So anyway, I don't know. The lyrics come from the script, mostly. Like I was saying earlier on Shattered Memories, they told me to write about cold, ice, snow. What else could you write about? So
I understand.
So I just kind of like throw my hook in Lake Muse and wait for something, Sometimes, I'll just play the music over and over in my head until lyrics start to pop out, and they write them down. And some stick, some don't.
Now,
at the beginning, they gave me some lyrics to go by, but I usually ended up just changing around.
Well, that's one way to show him who's boss.
Well, I don't know what I'm doing. I just do it.
Now, I'm curious, you've also had experience being an ADR director, correct?
Correct, yeah.
Could you explain to our listeners a little bit about what that entails?
Well, basically, we take the Japanese anime that would come in. They translate it into English and then give it to an ADR writer who would write it to lip sync to wherever the lip flaps were going on the screen. And then you put it in a script. Then you take it into a studio and you assemble the actors one by one, usually. So rarely in ADR do you have more than one actor, unless you're doing Walla. Wall is just the background miscellaneous people at a club, all that stuff.
That must be interesting to hear, everybody's performance.
As far as ADR stuff, are you talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, and as a director, you're trying to make sure that the actors are getting across the right feelings and emotions in the scene. And a lot of times they don't even have the other actor to go off of, so that's usually the challenge. how somebody would respond to someone making a statement or a bang coming from the other room, something like that.
Oh, definitely. And I'm curious, do you have any projects coming up or current projects you want to tell our listeners about?
Well, I haven't been doing much ADR directing lately.
Anything musical or
See,
anything like that?
excuse me?
Anything maybe musical, anything
Music,
related?
yeah, musically, I've been doing just some private things at home, working on my own stuff, but I'm also playing with a couple bands here locally.
Now, I'm curious, do you have a place where you can update your fans, a web space or a Twitter so they can catch you at these sort of events?
I'm not much on self-promotion, which is a drag being in the business I'm in, because really it's really now put on the artist to promote themselves online. I do the best I can online with my website, shadowboxstudio.com. I put up a lot of interesting things there, but I guess I don't update it as much as I should. I'm on Facebook. You can drop by Facebook and say hello. I sometimes log into that. I don't go to the MySpace stuff much anymore.
I think MySpace is pretty much gone off the deep end.
Yeah, MySpace is outer space now. I don't know.
And
I'm just doing the best I can. We're going through a lot of hard times here in the US of A. A lot of changes, and surviving the changes, the only way I really know is to do what I love, and I love to play drums.
well, that's really good that you're keeping, with your passion despite how the anime industry has slowed down and the video game industry is starting to pick up.
Yeah. Mostly my life has been music. I was on a Grammy Award-winning record with John Prine back in '91. That was kind of a nice way to peak my musical career at the time, and I kind of got out of it and just got into engineering. That's when I got together with a place called Magnitude 8 Post in Arleta, where I met Les Claypool, who owns Magnitude 8, and he was working with Yutaka Maseba and Haruyo Kanasaku at Zero Limit Productions, and they were the ones that basically had all the projects. And I was working with Kevin Seymour. Do you know who Kevin Seymour is?
I'm unaware, actually.
Kevin Seymour is Animes.
Oh, okay.
If you've ever heard of Animes, Kevin knows so much about Japanese anime. I used to work with him. He'd be directing and I'd be engineering, and every once in a while he'd throw me in, and I'd do a deep voice. I'd do Balrog for Street Fighter. Coco 5000 gets on, back on the bass. Balrog. Balrog, I think, was my first voice I did for animes at the time.
Now,
After a while, there was so much work, it's like they needed a director, and I said I'd love to direct. So I kind of jumped in that chair from my engineering seat.
Well, that definitely shows you have a lot of talents.
Well, I keep busy.
I am curious, do you ever go to any of the conventions across the U.S.?
I used to. I really don't go out much anymore. I stay home a lot. It's a lot cheaper.
So you don't have any plan for this year then?
Not really. I mean, there was a talk about New Orleans. Somebody was talking about getting Akira and Mary and I together. But that didn't come through for various reasons. I really would have liked to see that happen, but we've tried to do this. We've tried to do a live concert, I think about 3 or 4 times, and each time has failed.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. That sounds like a monumental occasion.
I know it might happen though. It might happen. I still talk to both of them, and I don't know what's next.
Well, if it does, make sure to keep us updated. That way we can give you some promotion and some coverage on the event.
I will. I like your thing here.
Well, thank you. And
91.8, the fan.
I'm wondering, is there anything else you want to tell our listeners?
No, I just like to say.
Someone is definitely having fun with their voice changer.
Thank you very much.
And before I let you go, I'm wondering if you'd participate in a 91.8 The Fan tradition.
What's that?
Well, we do this live on air, so we try and get any of the bloopers, but we ask anyone who comes on if they'd be willing to do a bump for us.
Do a what?
Do a bump for us?
A bump? Of
Yeah.
course. Of course. I thought I gave you a couple there.
You did, actually.
Well, you wanted to be without noise.
Oh my, that sounded very scary.
Well, you know, it's Silent Hill.
But I was wondering if you could say,
Easy.
I was wondering if you could say, my name is, I do this, and you're tuned into 91.8 The Fan.
My name is. I do what?
No. You fill in the blanks, as in my name is Joe. I do ADR in music or
All right, hit me with one at a time. Okay, give me the first one. Are we going to do this now?
Yes.
Okay.
Just say what your name is. My name is.
This is Joe Romersa.
And then I do this, as in I do ADR directing or I do soundtracks for Silent Hill.
I do music.
And you're tuned into 91.8 The Fan.
And you're tuned into 91.8 The Fan.
There we go, perfect.
How's that? Whoops. Are we still on?
Yes, we're
Keep
still.
getting that screensaver. Sucks. Oh, can I say suck?
Yes, you can say suck, we're fine.
Suck, 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 suck. Excuse me. Okay, I'm back.
I think you're having some problems with Silent Hill there. Make sure not to drop your flashlight.
No, not the flashlight.
But for everybody out there, that is our interview. Is there anything else you'd like to tell anybody before we let you go?
Oh man, there's so much to say. Just be good to people. Don't kill them. And don't go to countries where they want to kill you. I don't understand why that happens. Other countries want to kill Americans. Why do Americans go to that country to get killed? I don't understand.
People die when they get killed. Just remember that, listeners.
More soul for the call.
We're going to let you get back to Silent Hill, but for everybody out there, if you missed any of this interview, shame on you. Stay tuned to 91.8 The Fan, because we'll be putting it